Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, why on earth are they demolishing this home on Bloomington and Lynn? Well, you'll just have to stick around to find out.
And a palm full of energy. We have the latest on a decade-long program that uses a very unexpected source to keep the university running.
And in sports, pregame's on the way.
We have all that and much more coming up at the top of the hour because Daily Iowan TV starts right now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Muriel Kone.
And I'm Reed Chandler. Thanks for joining us this Thursday evening.
We begin today's show with Syria. President Obama announced Saturday that he is seeking U.S. military response to alleged use of chemical weapons in the Syrian civil war. Congress is still undecided on whether to act, but some Iowa City residents know where they stand, and their message is no mas sangre, which translates to no more blood in English. They had a pre-protest last Friday on the Pentercrest before the president's announcement, and Newman Abuasa, a resident of Iowa City and a native of Damascus, Syria, says Syrians are dodging bullets now. That is the situation on a daily basis, and there's no reason for us to add more bombs to it, end quote.
And this year, the UI will celebrate its 10th anniversary of the oat hole project. Oat holes are the outer shell of an oat grain, and they can't be used as food. So Quaker Oats in Cedar Rapids made a deal with the UI in 2003 to give them to the school to burn as energy in place of coal. Today, I took a look at how far the program has come in 10 years and what's next for the UI's green energy efforts. In Iowa, replace a coal mine with a field of oat grains. That's exactly what the UI has been trying to do for 10 years now.
The state of Iowa does not have any coal mines, does not have any oil wells, has no natural gas wells. So the money we spend on energy leaves the state of Iowa.
Furman Milster works on the UI's Oat Hole project, which focuses on replacing some of the coal the UI burns at its power plant with biomass or renewable substances like the outer shells of oat grains.
The CO2 that's released from burning oat hulls was in the atmosphere a year ago. So we're just recycling that carbon dioxide from growing to burning and growing to burning.
It's all a part of the UI's Vision 2020 initiative, a program Sally Mason launched in 2010 with a goal to become 40% dependent on renewable energies by 2020. As of 2013, the UI sits at 9.2%. So 10 years later, what's the next step to get that percentage closer to the goal? As of this August, in addition to the oats, they've started burning wood chips. I'm standing here at the Quaker Oats facility in Cedar Rapids where every day truckloads of these oat holes are shipped to the UI to burn at the UI power plant. Add to that more than 3,000 tons of wood chips the UI harvested from dead or dying trees here in Kent Park just outside of Iowa City. Together, they're reducing our dependency on coal and making the process a little greener. And if the state of Iowa has more green energy, it'll see more of that green paper sticking around too.
A key thrust for me is getting those dollars recycled into the local economy and helping the local rural economy especially.
Reed Chandler, Daily Iowan TV. And the UI is not stopping anytime soon. They just planted their first crop of miscanthus grass. It's a special grass that can also be used as biomass fuel. And still to come on tonight's show, hear from a group of students on how they are staying fit while having a little bit of fun.
And in sports, we're pre-gaming before Bears in just a few minutes.
But first, let's check in on Kelsey Kunief in the weather studio. Kelsey, you've disappointed me last week with those hot weather temperatures. Please tell me I can see some relief this weekend.
Unfortunately, guys, it's looking like another hot weekend in Iowa City. Friday morning will start off cooler with a temperature of 70 degrees, but by mid-afternoon, temps will shoot to around 90 degrees. It will dip to 75 come evening. Saturday will be another hot one with a high of 97 degrees, but expect the temperature to be in the 80s at kickoff. It will be about 95 on Sunday with temps potentially reaching triple digits. Believe it or not, Monday will be hotter with a high of 98. The rest of the week will be cooler, but only slightly, with highs in the 90s. That's it for now, guys. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Kelsey. Staying healthy is an important part of student lives, and many students find alternate ways to stay active and in shape.
And a great way to do that is with the University of Iowa athletic clubs. Our Spotlight Iowa City correspondent, Rebecca Hager, shines a light on an active martial arts group on campus.
Welcome to Spotlight Iowa City, and I'm Rebecca Hager. This week I attended a Japanese karate class. Karate has many benefits, social, mental, and physical. But rather than explain what the sport is, I'll let the athletes show you themselves.
We're practicing traditional Okinawan Karate Do. Our style is called Shito-Ryu. I'm a first-degree black belt in Shito-Ryu. I find it a good way to take energy that sometimes is negative and channel it into something positive. It's a pretty vigorous workout. I think it helps teach discipline, flexibility, strength, agility, all of those good factors.
It's amazing. You can see it from week to week, how people improve. And we have about 15 students off and on all the time. They get those friendships and it helps them have connections, kind of social networking. I often say it's a dojo family. Dojo is what we call the room when we practice in it.
Randomly met a person that did karate, and he told me about the health benefits of karate. I had back problems, hip problems, knee problems, and so I tried it out, and it did work. I think karate overall improves your well-being. It's very relaxing and helps you forget about other stuff.
It makes me happy, and it in general always leaves me in a better mood than I started.
The JKO Club meets every week from 7 to 8:30 in the field house, and they're always looking for more students to check it out.
Thanks, Rebecca. If you're walking down Bloomington and Lynn anytime soon, you will see some debris on the scene. This home is in the process of demolition to make way for a new 3-story apartment building. They hope this new 2,000 square feet structure will house 16 apartment units. Demolition of a second building will soon begin.
And now for some of your top stories outside of Iowa. If your state hasn't legalized gay marriage yet, well, Minneapolis Mayor R.T. Ryback wants you to get married in his state and spend some of your money while you're at it. That's what he pitched to gay and lesbian couples in Chicago today. The mayor says he hopes Illinois joins Minnesota in legalizing same-sex marriage, but for the time being, he plans to take advantage of some good tourism dollars. And you know, Muriel, we didn't have the win that I was hoping for from the Hawkeyes last week, but
well,
can't have it all.
You need to have some hope for this weekend.
I like your attitude, and we have Cody Goodwin and Josh Bolander in the sports studio today for our second round of Daily Iowan TV Sports Pregame. So, guys, what do you got?
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Pregame Show. Alongside this guy, Cody Goodwin, I'm Josh Bolander.
A lot on tap in today's edition of the program. Josh, why don't you tell our viewers what's on the agenda?
Later in the show, we stop to chat with Missouri State head coach Terry Allen's former West High football coach. Ross Rance makes its return to the pregame show, and as always, we're going inside the numbers in just a bit to drop some knowledge and see how the stats stack up for the black and gold.
Before we get all to that, first, Josh, it's important to mention that Missouri State's first road game of the year will also be a homecoming of sorts for the Bears head coach Terry Allen. As we discussed, Allen attended West High School on top of coaching at both of the black and gold's in-state rivals, Northern Iowa and Iowa State. His father, believe it or not, also played alongside Iowa's only Heisman winner, Niall Kinnick.
We'll have more on Allen's relationship with the Hawkeye State later in the show. But if you think that's interesting, we're just getting started. Inside the Numbers starts now.
To say Kirk Ferentz is expected to win this weekend is about as big an understatement as one can make. Despite the Hawks head man's 7-game losing streak, his $3.65 million a year annual salary puts a shame to the annual $104,499 his counterpart Terry Allen will be making on the opposite sideline. To put things in perspective, it takes Ferentz just under 35 days to make what Allen will make in a year. That's a non-conference schedule for the black and gold, or 16 quarters of play. The stats aren't exactly encouraging for the Bears either. In 29 previous attempts to defeat a Division I or FBS school, MSU has won exactly one time, in 1990. When the Teenage Mutant Turtles and The Simpsons were just hitting the mainstream, Colorado football was topping the college football charts, and Iowa football thought this poster was intimidating. If the Bears have any shot at winning, they will almost certainly have to slow down the black and gold stable of running backs. The Weissman Bullet combo combined for 176 yards, averaging just under 5 yards a carry against NIU in the opener. State gave up a combined 225 yards to the last two Division I backs they've played, 152 to Kansas State's John Hubert, and 73 to Louisville's Sonoris Perry, both losses for the Bears in 2012. The concept of ground and pound may be familiar to many of the Kinnick faithful, but the hurry up is slowly turning into the new norm for offensive coordinator Greg Davis. Let's pump the brakes on calling any Kirk Ferentz coach team the Oregon Ducks, but the Hawks did run 80 plays last Saturday, 21% more than last year's average. And with big play threats like Jordan Cotton and Damon Powell on the outside, who averaged 30 yards a grab last year at Snow College in Utah, things could continue speeding up for the Hawkeye offense. The key defensively will be to slow down opposing offenses, with the big play killing the Hawks last weekend against NIU, with all three passing touchdowns for the Huskies coming from outside of the red zone.
And now that we've gotten a little bit of a numbers perspective when it comes to everything Hawks and Bears, let's break things down Ben Ross style as he's back for another week. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Ross Rants.
Thanks, guys, and welcome back to another installment of Ross Rants. This week we'll be talking about the tight end, or lack thereof, in Iowa's offense. At the Hawkeyes' disposal, they have 6'7" and 265-pound tight end C.J. Fedorowicz, and he's just not getting the ball. Last week he only had 2 catches for a total of 15 yards. Now, he did get a touchdown in the end zone, but at all times, C.J. Fedorowicz seems to be the biggest player on the field. When Missouri State comes to town this weekend, he will have 5 inches on average over Missouri State's defensive backs and their linebackers. Now, in last week's game, out of 37 passes, only 5 went to tight ends, with the other 3 passes going to Henry Krieger-Coble and Jake Doozy. Now, I'm really not sure why Iowa doesn't seem to be trying to get the ball to its tight ends, especially in noted playmaker C.J. Fedorowicz. This past week at the press conference, Iowa head coach Kirk Ferentz said the defense dictates the ball. Well, sometimes the offense dictates where the ball goes to. I'm saying that Jake Grudon needs to get C.J. Fedorowicz the ball this week. We'll see a lot of more firepower out of the Iowa offense. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ben. Entertaining as always. We gave you a little bit of insight as to why the Bears' first road trip is actually a little bit of a homecoming earlier in the show. And now, for more on Terry Allen's return to Iowa City, let's toss it over to Chelsea Brown, who spoke earlier today with a very special guest.
Chelsea Brown here in the stadium at West High School, here with Gary Hollingsworth, a former football and track coach here. And Gary, you had the opportunity of coaching Terry Allen, the head coach of the Missouri State Bears. How was it coaching him during your time here at West High School?
Terry Allen was an exceptional athlete. He not only was a good, outstanding quarterback, but he also was a very good basketball player. And he was an all-conference football player, and was just a good leader. He was a person that all the athletes liked. He was a person that did not show that he was better than anybody else, but he had the ability to lead and be a very good athlete.
But you'll still be rooting for those Hawkeyes?
Okay, I'll have very mixed emotions. I do want the Hawkeyes to do well because I have much respect for Kirk Ferentz, but I do want I want Terry Allen's team to do well to show that he is doing a great job of coaching them.
All right, well, thank you again, Gary. And back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Chelsea. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have for tonight. But be sure to tune in back this Sunday for highlights of everything black and gold. And remember, on Iowa,
and go Hawks.
Thanks for that, guys. And that wraps things up for us here tonight.
But make sure to catch our Friday's edition of the Daily Iowan. Read about what local Iowa City business is closing the doors to one of its locations downtown.
And get to know some of the candidates running for mayor in Coralville.
Thanks for tuning in tonight. You guys have a great night.
And be sure to check us out at the same time on Sunday night or anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
Have a great night.